For months, the police believed they were dealing with isolated crimes. Different locations, different victims, no obvious pattern. But what they didn't realize was that these cases were already connected, and by the time the truth surfaced, the situation had spiraled beyond the control of local law enforcement. This was the moment when the FBI had no choice but to step in. This is the story of the Atlanta child murders, a case so disturbing, so complex that it changed the way America investigated serial crimes forever. Atlanta, Georgia, 1979. Atlanta was growing fast. New jobs, new neighborhoods, a city trying to move forward. But beneath that progress, something dark was beginning to take shape. In the summer of 1979, the body of 14-year-old Edward Smith was found in a vacant lot. At first, police treated it as a tragic but isolated incident. Then another child went missing, and another. By early 1980, Black children from low-income neighborhoods were disappearing without warning. Most were between 7 and 14 years old. They vanished on their way to school, while running errands, or simply playing outside. Parents were terrified. The community was angry, and the police had no answers. By mid-1980, at least 10 children had been murdered. Their bodies were often found dumped in wooded areas or near rivers. Some showed signs of strangulation. Others were too decomposed to determine an exact cause of death. Still, local police hesitated to label it a serial case, partly because they lacked solid evidence, and partly because admitting a serial killer was operating in Atlanta would cause mass panic. But the families knew the truth. They marched, they protested, they demanded federal help, and eventually, Washington listened. In 1980, the FBI formally joined the investigation. This marked one of the largest federal criminal investigations in U.S. history at that time. The FBI brought something Atlanta police didn't have: behavioral profilers, advanced forensic analysis, nationwide data comparison. For the first time, the FBI's behavioral science unit was actively used in a child murder investigation. Profilers believed the killer was likely a Black male, familiar with the neighborhoods, comfortable approaching children, possibly involved in music, community work, or youth activities. This profile narrowed the suspect pool, but also created controversy. Some accused the FBI of racial bias. Others believed the profile was dangerously vague. Still, surveillance began. One detail kept coming up. Several victims were found in or near rivers, especially the Chattahoochee River. The FBI theorized the killer was dumping bodies from bridges at night. So they watched. Undercover officers staked out bridges across Atlanta. Unmarked cars. Long nights. Then, on May 22, 1981, something happened. At 2:30 a.m., officers on the James Jackson Parkway Bridge heard a loud splash, as if something heavy had been thrown into the water. Minutes later, a car approached the bridge. The driver was Wayne Bertram Williams. Wayne Williams was 23 years old. He lived in Atlanta. He claimed to be a freelance music producer. He often approached young boys, promising fame, money, or studio time. Police questioned him on the bridge that night. He appeared nervous, but calm enough to be released. 2 days later, the body of Nathaniel Cater, a 27-year-old man, surfaced downstream. Fibers found on the body matched fibers from Williams' home and car. That was the break investigators needed. On June 21, 1981, Wayne Williams was arrested. But here's the shocking part. He was not charged with the deaths of the children. Instead, prosecutors charged him with the murders of 2 adult men, Nathaniel Cater and Jimmy Ray Payne. Why? Because those were the cases with the strongest physical evidence. The FBI believed Williams was responsible for at least 23 of the child murders. But proving it in court was another story. The trial began in early 1982. The prosecution relied heavily on fiber analysis, witness testimony, FBI behavioral profiling. They showed that fibers from Williams' carpet, bedspread, and dog matched fibers found on multiple victims. The defense attacked the FBI's methods, calling fiber analysis unreliable. The trial lasted nearly 2 months. And on February 27, 1982, the verdict came in. Wayne Williams was found guilty on both counts. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences. After Williams' conviction, Atlanta police quietly closed 22 child murder cases, attributing them to him. But not everyone agreed. Some families believe the real killer was never caught. Others believe there were multiple killers. Wayne Williams himself has always claimed innocence. To this day, the case remains one of the most debated FBI investigations in history. The Atlanta child murders forced the FBI to rethink how serial crimes were investigated. It led to expanded criminal profiling, improved interagency cooperation, greater federal involvement in local cases. Most importantly, it proved that when local systems fail, the cost is measured in lives. For nearly 2 years, a city lived in fear. Children stayed indoors. Parents slept with lights on. And the truth is, without federal intervention, this case might still be unsolved. This was the case that forced the FBI to step in. This has been Truth Trove Stories. If you believe forgotten cases deserve attention, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story, because some truths refuse to stay buried.